Hey, Sean, 2018 is coming to a close in the next couple weeks, and I've spent the last 3 months mostly not working. I had a few projects that were mostly editing that lingered, and people took way too long on the revisions, and it pushed into my paternity leave. But so we had a son in July, and after Jesse went back to work in October, I started staying home full time for the next 3 months to hang out with a dude and be a full-time dad. And as we approach 2020, as we approach 2020, the plan is that I'm going to be home with Luca on Thursdays and Fridays, and I'm really excited about that. And I will be able to do filming on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I'll be able to work on Thursdays and Fridays if I need to, but my default will be to do most of my production Monday through Wednesday. Travel on Sunday, shoot Monday, Tuesday, come back Wednesday. That kind of thing would be nice. That would work well. But as I was looking back on my reel for the past few years, I realized that all my videos are the same video. I sit down, I do an interview, and then I shoot B-roll based on what they talk about then in that interview, and then I edit it. I take pieces from the interview that I like, then I find pieces of B-roll that relate to what they were saying. The end. That's the video. And because of that, I don't have any videos that I've really written, that I've, concepted from scratch and produced. Everything is reactive. And I talked about this in my podcast with Sean Kirkland, but everything, yes, Boom Reactive is the name of my company, and I wasn't ever thinking that it would be this on the nose, but everything that I do is going and finding footage, like a documentary, and then reacting to it to create something. As I move into 2020 in the next phase of Boom, as I come back from leave and start shooting again, I want my projects to be more thoughtful. I want to know what it looks like before I start shooting. I want to have an idea. I want to know what the opening and the ending looks like. And that takes cooperation from clients, and it shortens interviews in a big way because we're not just having these 45-minute interviews and hoping that we're going to do 4 45-minute interviews and make a 3-minute video. Those get frustrating. We've wasted a lot of time. But that's the expected process for a lot of clients, and that's how they feel comfortable. And when you get your CEOs or your executives in front of a camera, you do want to take some time, even though we never end up using most of that stuff. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to move forward where I can start to do projects that I can be really, really proud of, things that will push me into the commercial world a little bit more, that'll be a little bit more thoughtful, scripted, more narrative. And the difficult thing is at some point you have to start saying no. You have to say that if I say yes to this project, yes, it's money and I need it, but if I do it, then I'm not available to do other things. And at a point, it becomes habit to just say yes to a certain kind of project and get known for that. And you get that niche and you get strength. And making these interview videos, I feel like I'm pretty good at it. I've had a lot of practice. I know how to pull stuff from an interview. I know what sound bites resonate with an audience. I know what's an effective narrative to pull from all that. It's just not fun. It's not as fun. And so moving into the future, I need to start saying no to things to clear my schedule. And it's easy to push back on that and say, well, you don't have to say no to things and then you wouldn't have anything. You could just wait and say yes to the good ones and fill your spare time with the bad ones. But production is art is this fickle thing where after a while, your mindset just sort of clicks out of it. If you're not actively pushing towards something, you won't get there. And looking back, it's not like I've said no to these narrative projects. I just did so many of the documentary projects that that became what I focused on. And so for 2017, 18, and 19, everything I've done is the same format. And it's not because I said no to the narrative projects and said yes to this. It's just because this is what I was looking for. And it takes an active shift to say, no, I'm gonna I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna start to change things and start to switch directions a little bit to point myself in the direction that I need to go and that I want to go. So my question is, and the whole reason I'm making this video is to ask, what do you do? Are you, with production, are you doing the things that you want to be doing? And I feel like for me, a lot of people that I talk to who are younger than me, who are just getting into production, think that I've got it figured out. They think, I mean, I've got clients. I do have regular clients. I do make regular money. I do have a lot of gear, and I do get a lot of calls. And even if I don't take the job, I refer a lot of business. And so for an outsider, it could look like I am exactly where I need to be. I've got clients. I've got a portfolio. I'm getting phone calls. Boom, done. But I look at people who are directing something above me or producing something bigger than what I produce, and I think, man, they've got it figured out. But the more I have conversations with people, the more I realize that no one's really happy, or not happy, because I'm happy, and a lot of these people are happy with where they are, but no one thinks that they're settled. No one thinks like, okay, good, I made it to this spot where I direct commercials, done. I'm good here for the next 20 years, and then I can retire. No one that I know thinks like that. And so as people who are younger than me are thinking like, man, I wish I could be where Sean is, I'm at the same time thinking, man, I wish I could be where so-and-so is. And they're thinking, I wish I could be where so-and-so is. And so we're all trying to move forward, but it's difficult. It's difficult to grow with intention and to find people to pay you for that growth all along the way without having to dip in and do spec work, dip into your own pocket to do spec work so that you can prove to someone that, hey, I can do that sort of project. How do you continue to level up and be paid for it the whole time? And so Sean Kirkland was telling me, he thought of something that I hadn't thought of, where I do all this documentary style stuff where I've got all this footage. Most of it we don't use because we just shoot B-roll like crazy for a full day. We're not looking for a particular shot list. We're just trying to capture smiles and these candid moments. But we have so much footage. If I were to write a narrative and have, a professional voiceover person record the narrative, I could create a video sort of from the ashes of these projects that is more targeted, is more thoughtful, that I can turn around and say, hey, I know we did that, but what if we did this? What if we for, only this much more, we could do this as well? And then that joins my portfolio without having to shoot an entire video from scratch. And so with these next couple projects, I have this opportunity to, as I capture B-roll, I can also capture another video simultaneously that's in the back of my mind that I can show to the client or put in my portfolio to attract more people who would be interested in that style of project. So this is another one of those times where I'm getting to where I'm right between levels, where I feel like I've hit the ceiling for what I'm doing now. This style of video, I'm there. I've got it. I can get work for a long time doing the same kind of thing. There's a ton of projects out there. But at some point, I need to get to the bottom of the next level, and that gap is always a tricky one to get through. So I want to know what you're doing, and if there's people out there who are having the same issue, what they've done. Last spring, I did a bunch of spec work to start doing more polished stuff, and that worked. And I started working with bigger agencies as a camera operator because they saw what I can do and what my team can do. And now we need to go up even one more level to show not just that we can create that look and that shot, but we can construct a story that resonates with the viewer and that's a powerful, impactful story. So that's what I'm working on. Yeah, I don't know. What are you working on? What are you doing? What makes you tick? What's the next level you want to be at? What's 2 levels beyond that? And if you know what your ultimate goal is, how are you going to get there? I honestly want to know. It's going to be sad because this video will get no comments, but I want to know what you're working on and how you're going to get there. And if I can help you, I will. And if you can help me, a rising tide raises all ships, right? Something like that. Yeah. Thanks for watching. See you later.